Today in Review This Thing, we're going to review this thing, the Spypoint Flex. This is Adrian with Review This Thing, where we always strive to give you the most honest, thorough, unpaid reviews on YouTube. We did a whole series last year where we covered like 5 or 6 different cameras, including the Sypoint Link Micro LTE. You guys definitely let us know what you thought about the Spypoint. So when we saw the Spypoint Flex, we knew we had to give it a try. And just like he did with the Micro Link, comment below if you have a Flex and let us know your experience too. So we've had this thing out in the woods about 3 months, so we're ready to give you our review. So let's review this thing. As always, we're going to cover the facts. The first part is fit. So fit is actually going to be pretty straightforward. The size of the Flex is actually a little bit bigger than the old one. It's not ginormous, but it's definitely larger than the Micro Link. It's small enough that you can put it on a smaller tree like this one, but it's also larger enough that it feels like it might be a bit more sturdy. The antenna on the Flex is also a little larger than the previous version, which is meant to increase the ability to get a signal. Now, I will mention here we haven't seen a really big difference either way, good or bad, with the larger antenna versus the smaller. Just like pretty much every other trail camera, it comes with a cinch strap that you can see is pretty big, so it's going to fit around any tree that you can basically get your arms around. Like I said, it fits pretty easy. It's not too big, not too small, not too heavy, and the strap should get you around pretty much any tree you want. So because of that, we're going to have to give fit a 5 out of 5. Now, is the Spypoint Flex as advertised? The first thing Spypoint advertises is that it's easy to use and set up. So setup is pretty easy. The first thing you want to do is get yourself an account if you don't already have one. Then you're going to add your camera by scanning the QR code that's inside. Then activate that camera. And once that's all done, you can go ahead and put the SD card in, put the batteries in, and turn your camera on. One thing that Spypoint highly recommends is that as soon as you turn it on and the light's blinking, go ahead and hold down that format button so that you can get your SD card formatted for this camera. And if your app shows a firmware update, definitely go ahead and do that too. Once it's connected, you just need to set up your settings, get a plan, all that good stuff, and then it's ready to go. As far as using the camera, it's going to send you pictures based on your settings. We're going to talk about the app a little bit more later, so I won't get into that, but definitely easy to use. They also advertise a 100-foot detection range. Unfortunately, most of the deer coming toward this camera were coming down a path closer to it than 100 feet, so I didn't really get to test that, but I would say in this picture, it's probably at least 75 to 80 feet away. So I think you can feel pretty good about that. They also advertise a 0.3 second trigger speed. Now, I don't really know if there's a way to actually test that, but you can see in this picture that this bird was taken off. I'd say that's pretty fast. So far, we can't really tell if there's been a lot of missed pictures because it's actually taken a ton of pictures in this spot. So far, the Spypoint Flex has done exactly what Spypoint says in our experience, so we're going to have to give as advertised a 5 out of 5. Now into construction and durability. So the first thing that's different about this camera is that it's GPS enabled, which means you can look on a map and find where your camera is. If somebody should steal your camera, once it's turned on, you should be able to track it and figure out where it's at. Another really big draw to this camera is that it has a dual SIM card. And what that means is that the card that's in the camera will work on multiple networks, including Verizon and AT&T. And it's supposed to, on the fly, figure out which network is working better at that moment and switch back and forth. Now, keep in mind, if you put this in a camera that has terrible cell service, I don't care what SIM card you have, it's not going to get service. We purposefully put this camera in an area that we know has terrible service and put it on the video mode just to see how it would do. It did send all the previews. It only sent one of the videos we requested, and in about a week, the battery completely died. We moved it to a better spot. We've gotten all the previews, all the pictures, and all the videos, and the batteries have fared much better. This time, the batteries lasted about a month before they died, which doesn't sound very good, but in the spot we had it, it took in that month about 4,000 to 5,000 pictures. Yes, I would like for the batteries to last 3 or 4 months, but when it's taking that many pictures, I really don't think you can expect that. We definitely need to work on our settings a bit and see if we can make some adjustments so that when it's in an area that's really busy, we don't run out of batteries so quickly. If you have one of these and you have some tips, comment and let us know what we should do. As I mentioned, this camera does send video, which is also a new feature. When you pull up the app, you'll see a preview, which is kind of looks like a GIF on your screen. And then if you want to see the whole video, then you request it. Now that is an extra fee, but it's really cool because now you don't have to go pull the card to see the video. And in my opinion, those videos are really cool and pretty clear. The only thing we kind of don't like about video mode is that preview. I wish that it would kind of just send the picture and then you could choose from there to see the video instead of having that moving picture. It may not, but I just wonder if that may save battery life too. Moving on, it does open from the bottom. The latch is really strong and it has the capability to put a lock through it. We were a little bit concerned initially that the bottom might fill up with water and then, ruin the camera. The seal seems to be really strong and we haven't had any moisture get in at all. The battery compartment is also nice because it slides out. You can fill it up and put it back in. It'd be pretty cool if you could buy extra of those so that you could have that ready and just switch those out when you go to change the batteries in your camera. So Spypoint, think about that. When you open it on the bottom, you can also see that the displays are really easy to see for signal strength, battery, that sort of thing. And another really nice feature is that you can use the test button to send yourself a picture. So before you walk off and go home, you can make sure that you like the view that you're going to get. And like we mentioned, you can format your SD card in the field, so you don't have to format it before you get there. Now let's talk about the app for just a minute. You can do pretty much everything from that app, either on your phone or through the computer. You're going to click on the camera you want to look at, go to the photo gallery, and from there you can filter it out further. You can pick based on type of media. If you have some HD photos or videos, you can look at those. You can save up to 500 favorite photos. You can even use the species filter. So if you want to see only the bucks, or if you're worried about people being on your land, you can filter that out too. And you can also set your settings directly from the app too. One of the really neat features of it is you can do all the firmware updates remotely through the app also. Okay, now let's briefly talk about the plans. You can pick whichever plan you feel like is going to meet your needs on how many pictures it's going to take. Now keep in mind, if you buy the 250 photo package, but it takes more than that, it's going to keep storing them to your card. It's just not going to keep transmitting them. I think you can probably do an upgrade so that you can keep transmitting the pictures if you should go over. One of my favorite parts about the Spypoint cameras is that you can get 100 pictures a month for free. Once you hit that 100 mark, it's still going to keep saving them to your card. But like in the off season, if maybe you don't want to pay to get tons and tons of pictures sent, you can at least get those first 100 for free. And then on top of your monthly plan, to get those HD photos or videos, you just pay that extra money. And why most people do that is because the version that's sent to your phone is very low resolution, because they don't want you to lose all of your battery life sending these really big pictures. So there's definitely a difference between the low resolution that comes to your app and the HD version. So if you really like a picture and you want to see a clear version, then go ahead and pay that little bit. I think it's $5 to get extra ones sent to you. Now, as far as durability, these cameras are brand new, like they just came out this summer, so there's not any good long-term stories. We have seen great results so far, and it definitely feels sturdy, like it's going to last for a good long time. So far, the only kind of negatives that we would say about it is the battery life situation. But again, maybe if we had it in an area that wasn't taking 5,000 pictures in a month, the batteries would last 4 or 5 months. We are going to work on our settings a bit more, and we could even try one of the solar panels that we haven't tried yet. If we do that, we'll come back and let you know. But overall, we're going to have to give construction and durability a 4.7 out of 5. Now on to testimonials and reviews. These are available at several stores, so we were able to find lots of reviews. You know what we do, we tell you what people complained about. One of the things a few people complained about was they said the picture quality was not as good as the Link Micro. I don't think they specified if it was the HD version or the regular. The HD pictures we have found look really good, and we're very pleased with them. Another person commented that they felt like the unlimited plan was the only option because they had so many pictures taken. That's true if you're in an area that's going to take a lot of pictures and you want to get them all. You could spread out the delay and maybe not get as many pictures, but if you're going to take a lot of pictures, you need a big plan. Several people said that it drained the batteries quickly. We've already talked about that, so I won't get into that. And then a few people said there was poor reception. The only time we've had any issues with it is in an area that we know is a virtual dead zone. The place we moved it to second really isn't a great signal area either, and it's done really well in that spot. But you know, with testimonials and reviews, we give you the score we found. So we're going to have to give it a 4.1 out of 5. And finally, should you buy this thing? If you go back and read the comments under the Spypoint Link Micro LTE video, you'll see that we got a lot of flack because we had positive things to say about that camera. And so far, we have a lot of positive things to say about it too. So if you're looking for a cellular trail camera, we haven't seen any reason not to recommend this Flex, especially because they have that 100 free picture plan, which is awesome. It has the dual SIM, so you don't have to decide, and it's able to send videos, which is pretty cool. Now, retail on this camera is $140, but as of the filming of this video, it was only $99 at Bass Pro Shops and Academy. There's actually a link in the description below to the one at Cabela's, but $99 is a pretty awesome deal. The battery life is really the only issue that we've had, but we're going to keep working on that and see if we can make that better. We're going to have to give Should You Buy This Thing a 4.85 out of 5. Hey, thanks for watching our Spypoint Flex review video. While you're here, check out a whole bunch of our other videos. If you like what you see, give us that thumbs up. If you really like it, comment and let us know. If you would, take a second, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Check out our website, reviewthisthingtv.com. And you can also listen to our podcast on most of your favorite platforms.